Hello, this is Nicole Solis again. I'm going to continue to document my research on James Madison with an analysis of two historians, Barbara Allen and Jonathan Barth. Barbara Allen's Alexis de Tocqueville in the covenantal tradition of American federal democracy, and Jonathan Barth's Liberty of Conscience is every man's natural right. Two distinct but overlapping frameworks for American liberty emerge, one rooted in covenantal tradition, the other in natural rights philosophy. So Allen, drawing on Tocqueville, portrays American constitutionalism as shaped by New England's moral and religious covenantal heritage, which linked individual rights to communal purpose and transcended obligation. Tocqueville argued that while Madison and Jefferson secured freedom of conscience through institutional design and church state separation, they inadvertently weakened the very moral foundations necessary to sustain self government. By elevating individual autonomy. So, in contrast, Barth traces American religious liberty to the natural rights and Whig traditions of Milton, Locke, and Cato's letters, emphasizing liberty of conscience as an unalienable right, an unalienable pre political right. He presents Madison and Jefferson as the foremost champions of this tradition, highlighting Madison's leadership in disestablishment, his authorship of the Memorial and Remonstrance, and his belief that the mind created free by God must never be coerced. So, both authors therefore recognize Madison as a pivotal figure in securing religious liberty, but they sharply diverge in how they assess the long-term implications of his approach. Allen, using Tocqueville, presents Madison as a statesman whose institutional design sought to control faction while preserving freedom of conscience and moral progress through the exercise of reason. Madison feared majority tyranny and believed that civil authority should never enforce pernicious doctrines, since enforcement corrupted both politics and religion. His emphasis on individual independence from publicly established belief fostered a stable system of church state separation. But in Tocqueville's view, this system subtly undermined the communal moral foundations necessary to resist democratic excess. Although Allen notes that little can be known of Madison's personal faith, she does acknowledge that he regarded belief in a wise and good God as essential to moral order, complicating Tocqueville's claim that Madison's philosophy rested on reason alone. Barth, by contrast, does not attempt to reconstruct Madison's personal religious beliefs. Instead, he interprets Madison's language, however evangelical in tone, as fundamentally philosophical and rights based. What mattered for Madison was not sectarian allegiance, but the principle that conscience is antecedent to civil society, and that any attempt to coerce a belief is sinful and tyrannical. Barth thus frames Madison as the most effective architect of a natural rights regime in which the right of conscience stands as the cornerstone of all other beliefs. While both sources affirm Madison's centrality to the development of American religious liberty, they do so from markedly different vantage points. Allen, following Tocqueville, emphasizes the covenantal moral foundations Madison presumed but did not actively preserve, warning that his elevation of individual autonomy risked weakening the communal supports of self-government. Barth emphasizes Madison's philosophical achievement, the institutional securing of the unalienable right of conscience in the widest possible scope. Neither author definitively identifies Madison's personal faith, yet both acknowledge that his political convictions were rooted in a moral order shaped by religious ideas, an influence visible from his youth in Virginia through his final years in retirement. All right. Thank you so much for listening and watching. And if you have a comment or question, please let me know. Thanks. Bye.